Like I am this is I listen, I just thought it was a survey. I woke up this morning, I saw everybody talking about Classic Plus survey. This is a lot more than that. Like, what the heck?
Haven't we done this before?
Huh? Me not that kind of orc. What?
I don't think so.
Hey guys, I'm Jordy, and our little project created an absolute insane amount of buzz in the community.
This is really well made.
Super sick.
Ooh, Uncovering Dalaran. Project Classic Plus, baby.
And as of this video's recording, we have 35,000 introduction surveys taken, with over 200,000 total surveys covering every aspect of the game completed. The surveys are still up, and that number is steadily increasing, but I do want to get into what we are seeing, what the community thinks,
I think we all disagree here.
Same.
and what exactly Classic Plus is to us all. And while I can't tell you Blizzard has officially noticed and said that they're watching,
Really excited to announce that. I guess we'll save that for later.
just based off of my experience communicating with them, I know that they're paying attention.
They are completely different for the most part than modern players. You know, can we as World of Warcraft do a bit of experimentation? Because we hear what they want. What do they really want? And in some cases, they created it themselves, like hardcore. That's what we're aiming for. We're in a very exploratory space with Classic, and we are listening.
Now, the next video in this series will be showcasing all the incredible pitches and ideas that the community has created, as well as an absolutely exhaustive amount of ideas that only I have. But this little video is just the numbers, and oh man, are they interesting. Now, I want to preface everything I'm about to talk about with this. I'm not saying nor recommending Blizzard make Classic Plus by committee here. While I do think a polling system is a great and much needed feature for future releases, doing it this way, with all the surveys being as long and exhaustive as they are, it's just not a great way to decide on everything. But I do think it's very important to see how the community feels about a certain direction and hopefully course correct on anything that they might already be doing to avoid running the Titanic into an iceberg.
Why are they turning? Is it hard over? It is, yes, sir, hard over. It's got a hit!
Now, speaking of icebergs, let's talk the most surefire ways to screw up Classic Plus. According to the community, out of over 35,000 individuals who answered, almost unanimously, everybody agrees that flying mounts would ruin Classic Plus. Good stuff, guys. I agree with you. Now, everybody also agrees that the leveling pace of the original game is just right, with the majority agreeing to keep it the way it is. Only 1.4% of respondents said that they'd rather skip leveling and buy a boost. So, Blizzard, if you're listening, no boosts please, no leveling increase, just keep it the way it was. Mad Season, this one's for you. Now, moving on to something I honestly found surprising, a majority of players believe that transmog is bad, with 51.6% of players agreeing that it should not be in the game. I'm honestly surprised by this as well. I hear a lot of different opinions about transmog, so this one was a pleasant surprise. Now that we've seen what exactly Classic Plus shouldn't change, let's talk about what the community thinks should change. While it's a bit mixed in how it should work, over 70% of respondents agree that raid size should reduce from 40 somehow, with about half of those wanting the Season of Discovery version of raids being tuned to 20, but allowing you to bring more. Or a retail WoW-like version of flex raiding, where the challenge changes as you gain or lose raid members. Next up, Dungeon Finder. 67% of people want Dungeon Finder, but only in that it helps to group you, not teleport you to the dungeon. Now, what confuses me here though is that 74% of people want summoning stones as well. So I guess you're all okay with making 2 people travel there to summon the other 3, which de facto is the same as Dungeon Finder, kind of. This was a weird result. I think some of you are passenger princesses and are okay with it. Now, most of you like the idea of heroic dungeons, or at least some version of it, depending on how it's implemented. Also, a majority want AoE looting. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of AoE looting, but it's not a huge deal, fine. Now, moving quickly to the class survey, over 70% of respondents think Retribution Paladin needs major revamping.
What class do you think I consider my main chat the best class? The Paladin.
While Balanced Druid and Protection Paladin come up just behind. Ret just needs a little encouragement to really break free of its vanilla shackles. The biggest one on this list, in my opinion, 55% of respondents would prefer if GDKP was not in Classic Plus. If you look at the demographic data of people who answered that they were hardcore raiders, that number drops to 49.5%, but separately, for people that only labeled themselves as hardcore raiders and nothing else, that number swaps to 47.1% wanting GDKP, with 41% saying they prefer not to have it. I'm not going to editorialize this, but it's fascinating. The last highlight here, and this one is a slam dunk, is that 95% of people who answered, so something like 32,000 or so people, want to see dual spec implemented. I think this is a safe addition for Classic Plus, and the community seems to agree. That's the no changes, the changes, and now the most debated topics that we can't get true clarity on. First up, how this server rollout should occur. Now, this one was all over the place, with no option getting more than 30% of the vote. 27% want 1 mega PvP server and 1 mega PvE server. 24% want a condensed server list like in SOD, with further consolidation over time, and then down from there in terms of options. It's super interesting seeing how split everybody is on this. On the question of Classic Plus having new classes, 43% do not want to see any new classes, with 34% and 12% wanting to see new classes in some way, whether that be completely new classes or stuff that we've seen in retail already. Now, added up, that's 46% for new classes and 43% against. The community is pretty split on this one. And in terms of the server resetting every couple years, and I admit this question could have been written a bit better, the community is also pretty split. Some of you are down for fresh every so often, some never want to see it, and most are just not sure, wanting to hold judgment depending on how it's done. So this is just our initial findings. We've been building this data browser for everybody to use, which right now, you too can go check out. Do you want to see what the auction house gamers think about connecting all the auction houses? Boom. Go check out the data for yourself right now. While all of that is great, what about the content? Well, that too has been insanely positive, with an absolute truckload of ideas being submitted and tens of thousands of upvotes and downvotes on all of these ideas over the course of the last 2 weeks. So while you're on the site, go upvote what you think are the best ideas. And like I said earlier, the next video will be much larger and expect that soon. But while you chew on the data, we wanted to leave you with one more thing.
What? What is it? Good day to you. You're getting on my nerves. I supply only the finest goods.
Yarr!